Welcome back, guys. We are back with another interesting story, which is on what if Bella could see ghosts and Rosalie was her mate. So don't forget to like and subscribe for more such videos. Let's get started. I'm not doing it, the brown-haired girl said from her spot laying on a bed. You can't make me, people in society. The girl seemed to be listening to something, but there was no sound coming from anywhere. The longer she was silent, the more frustrated she seemed to get. I can't just go to Colorado. The girl paused. Because I'm only 17. Plus, how am I going to afford not only a plane ticket but all the expenses of going? Look, I want nothing more than to be able to help you. The girl held up a hand. I'm not calling the police. The last time I did that, I spent 4 hours in an interrogation room trying to explain why I knew where to find the kidnapped boy. Another pause. Well, come up with another plan. The girl threw her arm over her eyes. It is not my fault that the only person you would trust to help is the person who killed you. The girl seemed to be fed up with whatever she was hearing. Yes, I know. You need closure and want revenge. Blah blah blah, I've heard it all before. Suddenly the girl sat up and reached for a laptop that was sitting on what looked like a nightstand. Fine, I will email the tip site. At least I know they won't be able to trace that back to me. After typing for a few minutes, the girl stopped. There, are you satisfied? I sent them an email that stated Darren Thompson murdered his business partner Glenn Franklin. The body is located in a barrel that is buried under Darren's new porch, and you can find the gun he used to kill him at the bottom of an old well located on his wife's parents' property in Paonia. That should be enough to get the case solved. Alice blinked as she came out of yet another vision of the mysterious brunette. They had been happening over the past 2 years, and Alice didn't understand why. Neither she nor anyone in her family have any connection to the girl they could find. While it wasn't unusual for Alice to have visions of strangers, it was what she saw when she had visions of this stranger that was unusual. Sighing, she made her way to the living room where a large map of the United States was hanging on a corkboard. As she put a pin in the small town of Paonia, Rosalie approached her. Another body? Rosalie asked. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but it seems so, Alice said. That brings the count up to 9. The more she learned, Rosalie found her worry for the random girl in Alice's visions grow. Alice looked at the newspaper clippings, police reports and coroner reports hanging around the map. And we still don't know who she is. Has she mentioned the name of the missing kid she saved? Some of the family, mostly Edward, were convinced that they should just ignore the girl and not get tangled up in whatever the brunette was involved with, but Rosalie wasn't one of them. From what they had learned from each new vision, it seemed like the girl was actually doing a lot of good by solving murders and finding missing people. Rosalie had hoped that they could figure out the name of the boy she rescued from kidnappers. That way they would be able to find out the girl's name so they could track her down. She mentioned getting questioned by the police to whoever she was talking to, but never said who she rescued or what town the police that questioned her were from. Alice agreed with Rosalie about not wanting to ignore the girl. Alice was certain she was gifted. What her gift was she couldn't figure out, and when she reached out to their cousin Eliezer in Alaska, he guessed that it was the same type of gift Alice had, and the girl saw visions. That had made Alice want to find the girl even more, because she as well had a gift when she was human. Alice didn't want what happened to her when others found out about her gift to happen to anyone else. Rosalie huffed in frustration. If she would just give us a clue to who she was, we could find her. I know, but the visions are coming more frequently, so maybe that means we are going to cross paths soon. Alice at least hoped so. It was obvious to her that the girl was going to play some kind of role in their lives, but Alice didn't know when or how, just that they would probably be meeting the stranger soon. Alice just didn't know if that meeting would be a good thing or a bad thing. As she looked at the new pin on the map, Alice hoped at least she would be able to help the girl carry the burden that seemed to be placed on her shoulders. No human should be left alone to deal with so much death, especially a teenager. Very funny. Bella grumbled as she accidentally walked into a woman dressed like a hippie. Bella was happy to finally get off the plane and on her way to her new life living with her father Charlie. Her mother Renee had found herself a husband in the form of a guy much younger than her who was chasing his dreams to become a professional baseball player. That meant Renee wanted to travel around the country with her boy toy, and Bella was sent to live with her father. She wasn't really happy to have to live with her father full-time, but it was only fair that her mother get a break from raising a child. Bella did love her father, but he was a cop and she didn't think it was a good idea for her to be that close to law enforcement. How was I supposed to know she was real? She looked like she was from the 60s. Choosing expert toddler parenting courses. How could you mistake her for one of us? She was holding a cell phone in her hand, Ralph said while still laughing. Bella pretended he wasn't there and made her way to baggage claim. Ralph was one of the reasons that it wasn't a good idea for Bella to live with a cop. Ralph was a ghost. Although she had never told anyone Bella had been able to see and talk to ghosts since she was a child. She actually couldn't remember a time she wasn't able to. When she was 6 years old she had tried to talk to her mother about it, but Renee thought she was just making up stories. After that Bella never brought it up again. At first the specters just visited and talked to her. It was about 2 years ago they started asking for her help. Apparently there were some spirits that were stuck in limbo, not being able to pass on without getting closure. That sometimes meant just having their bodies discovered so they can be brought back to their families. Other times they had unfinished. Ralph did. Ralph had been murdered and had come to her to help him catch the killer so that he could finally cross over. Ralph and others like him were the reason it wasn't good for Bella to have the eyes of a police officer on her. She had to be careful when helping to solve the crimes because if someone found out she talked to the dead, Bella was sure they would lock her up in a mental institution and throw away the key. When we get to your dad's we should see if he can help us solve my case, Ralph said. Bella rolled her eyes. How many times do I have to tell you that I cannot tell my father that I see and talk to ghosts? There is no way he wouldn't think I was crazy and lock me up. He wouldn't do that. He's your dad. He loves you unconditionally, Ralph told her. So you're saying that if you told your dad that loves you unconditionally that you saw and spoke to ghosts he would believe you? When Ralph looked away Bella got her answer. That's what I thought. I just really want to put the guy who did this behind bars and give not only myself but my family some peace, Ralph said. Bella sighed. I know and I want that too, but it's a little hard when you're a 17-year-old teenager who doesn't even have a car to help all of you who come to me. I told you there is a big reward for whoever gives the cops information. Ralph's big incentive to her was the money. And I told you that I would have to be questioned by the cops and have to have some kind of proof that I wasn't the one who actually killed you. Bella honestly didn't care about the money. What she cared about was staying under the radar. If you would just call my wife she would believe you. Bella cut Ralph off before he could finish that line of thought. You yourself told me you were pretty sure she was involved in the plot for you to be killed. But not 100% sure. Ralph corrected. She may be completely innocent. I'm not taking any chances. Bella jumped when she heard her father's voice coming from behind her. You aren't taking any chances on what, Bells? Charlie asked. Oh I'm not taking any chances not being close to the baggage claim area. You never know if you miss your bag. Bella's excuse was lame, but she had been caught off guard this time. Usually her lies were a lot better. Yeah, I can't believe that the airlines just trust people to actually be honest enough to not steal someone else's bags. It's always a good idea to keep a close eye out, Charlie agreed. Exactly. Bella reached forward and grabbed her bag. Charlie moved forward and took it from her. Here, let me get that. Thanks, Dad. Bella walked alongside Charlie to the parking lot, holding back a flinch when she realized they would be riding in his police cruiser. She hoped this wasn't a prediction of things to come. Are you sure you want to start school tomorrow? No one would blame you if you wanted to take at least a few days to get settled in. Charlie asked as they began their drive home to Forks. I'm positive. It's better to just jump right into things and not put them off. Bella didn't say it out loud, but she also needed to have some kind of excuse to spend time away from home. It wouldn't be a good idea staying in the house alone with her father while she was being pestered by spirits. Her constant talking to them and no one hearing them had caused a few problems with her mother already. She didn't want her father to get it in his head that Bella was showing signs of a mental disorder. That's a good attitude to have. Charlie was pleased his daughter was already making decisions that would make her stay there become more permanent. He had worried that she would be less than happy about having to live with him, but so far she had been nothing but positive about the change. I wish you would jump into my case with as much enthusiasm as you have for going to school. Shouldn't teenagers hate high school? Ralph huffed from the backseat. Bella ignored him and left him to sulk. She did sneak glances of him in the rear-view mirror, smiling at the sight of him behind the plastic partition. Maybe she would have her dad drive her places from now on. Not only did she not have a car, but it would be nice to see some of the ghosts put in their places. Not all of them were bad, but some were more annoying than the others when they refused to understand Bella's limitations. Leaning her head back against the headrest, Bella closed her eyes. Her father never felt the need to fill the silence, so she wanted to take the chance to rest for a bit without Ralph bugging her. The times when she wasn't dealing with someone were rare, so she was going to make the most of this opportunity. I'm going to head up to bed. Thanks for dinner, Dad. The brunette girl kissed a blushing older man on the cheek and made her way up the stairs. I'll make sure I'm up on time so I can take you to school in the morning, Bells, the man called out. Alice kept her eyes closed and focused on the vision, hoping to prolong it. It had given her some good information, but she wanted to make sure she couldn't learn anything else before she informed the others. When nothing else but the 10-second scene came to her, she rushed from her room and ran down the stairs. Family meeting. Alice, what is it? Emmett asked, coming to his mate's side. I'll tell you when everyone gets here. Alice waited until all the Cullens were sitting in the living room before she spoke. I not only know who the girl is but where to find her. Who is she? Rosalie asked, feeling a surge of excitement at finally knowing who the mystery girl was. I'm not sure what her actual name is, but her father calls her Bells. Alice wondered if it was the shortened version of the girl's name or a nickname. You said you knew who she was. Does that mean you have a last name? Carlyle asked. The topic of the girl had been an ongoing mystery the family had been involved in for 2 years. He was very curious to know what kind of gift the girl had that had helped her solve so many crimes and find so many missing people. I don't, however I do know who her father is, Alice said. Why do we care about who this girl is again? Edward asked. He didn't think they should be getting involved with some random human that was constantly involved with the police. It wouldn't be good to be around someone who brought that much attention from the authorities to themselves. Rosalie growled at her brother, because the girl needs help. So send her the information for a shrink and move on, Edward sighed. Emmett held back Alice from making a move towards Edward. Shut your fucking mouth, Edward. If you say something like that again, I don't care if Jasper is your mate, I will end you. Let them talk, Jasper said to Edward, sending out waves of calm to the room. Who is the girl's father? Esme asked, getting them back on track. Her father is Chief Swan. Alice told them. Does that mean she's in Forks? Rosalie asked. Alice nodded. I had a vision of her talking to her father and him telling her that he would give her a ride to school tomorrow. So she is going to be at school with us? Rosalie was happy because it would give her a chance to approach the girl. Do you know what grade she is in? No, I only know that she is 17. I've never had a vision of her in school or talking about what grade she was in. Alice wished she knew so they could figure out a way to have some classes with the girl. Well, for everyone but Edward to have classes with the girl. And you haven't had a vision of any of us interacting with her? Carlyle asked. I haven't had any that feature any of us with her. Alice was surprised that she hadn't. They had made the decision to find the girl over a year ago, so she figured she would have had one, but then again this was the first vision she had of the girl in Forks. I think I'm going to scout out her house. It might give us a clue to what is going on with her and to make sure she is safe. Rosalie wasn't going to admit to the others that even if they didn't think it was a good idea, she was going to do it anyway. Her curiosity concerning the girl had grown since the first time Alice told them about her, and now that she was so close there was no way Rosalie was going to be able to wait to see her. I'll go with you. Maybe if I see her in person I can make a better connection to her. It might help with future visions. Alice turned to her mate. Emmett, why don't you come as well, just in case? I don't think anything will happen, but she is still an unknown. Cool, I'm up for an adventure. Emmett easily agreed. The girl had been almost the sole focus of his wife for over a year, and he was curious to see what she was like. Just be careful, Carlyle warned as the group made their way to the door. Her father is a police officer, so you don't want to accidentally get caught sneaking around. We'll be fine, Alice told him as the three of them raced across the yard towards Chief Swan's house. Once there they stopped at the tree line. I think that's her room right there. The one with the tree right outside the window. Emmett examined the tree's branches. If I were her dad I would worry about her sneaking out her window or someone sneaking in. It would be easy to get in there undetected, Rosalie mused. Before anyone could say more they heard a girl's voice. Okay, so these are the only facts we have to go on. There was a pause and then the girl spoke again. I told you I'm not asking my dad. Now the only things we know are you were shot in the back of the head, your body was put in a freezer, sealed shut, and the freezer at the moment is at a mechanic's garage with a bunch of junk on top of it and no one has touched it. Is she talking to someone? Rosalie asked. I don't know. This is what it's like in my visions. It's a one-sided conversation, Alice explained. You are sure you never saw the man who shot you? The girl questioned. Even if he was wearing a mask, did you see anything that could identify him? Maybe the license plate of the van that moved the freezer to the garage. Is she trying to solve another murder? Emmett asked excitedly. He hoped they would meet the girl soon and she would let him help work on her cases. I think she is. Even though Rosalie knew the girl had solved many crimes, it was surprising to hear her actually doing it. Great, so you do have a plate. Let me just put it in and search. There was another pause while they heard typing. Okay, we got a match. It says the owner of the vehicle is a Dominic Petrella. Does he look familiar to you? Did she just hack into the DMV website to search for license plates? Alice was beyond impressed. She never really got to watch as the girl figured out who committed the crimes other than the occasional saying details out loud. Yeah, and it seems she already has a suspect. Rosalie was impressed as well. The girl was more capable than she had thought. Yeah, I got an address. You go check it out. Hopefully you can figure this out for yourself and you can go on your way. They heard the girl sigh. I will once again remind you that not only do I have school tomorrow that I can't miss, but I have no way to get to San Bruno, California to investigate a hitman. What the fuck has she gotten into this time? Emmett asked, slightly worried for the human. This is definitely more dangerous than the other cases she was involved in. Alice was also worried for the girl named Bells. Even when she dealt with the kidnappers, it was just giving a tip to the police. Investigating a hitman was extremely dangerous. Look, I know you aren't 100% sure that your wife wasn't involved. That means she could have been, and if she was, then I would be putting a target on my back if I contacted her. Why don't you go do your investigation and come back when you find something? It would probably be a good idea to find out what the name of the mechanic's shop the freezer is at. That way if you find nothing, we can at least let the police know where your body is. The girl paused again, like she was listening to someone. It would make a difference because once your body was discovered, you could do surveillance on the people you think are involved. They wouldn't know you were there, so they wouldn't censor their conversations. Haven't you ever watched a crime show? Once the body is found, the people who commit the crime become nervous. They will try to cover their tracks. You go and follow the tracks and get back to me. Jesus, she has it down to a science. Rosalie could barely believe what she was hearing. She wasn't sure how she felt about the girl putting herself in such danger, but at least she wasn't being reckless. I'm going to bed. I once again will remind you I have school in the morning. Please don't bother me while I'm there. I don't want people to think I'm crazy like they did in my last school for talking to myself, the girl said. Alice froze, hearing that other people thought Bells was crazy. That was what she was afraid of when she had her first vision of the girl. We have to make sure we can cover for her if she starts talking to herself. Don't worry, we will. Rosalie knew exactly why Alice was concerned about that. Alice's human experiences still haunted the vampire, and there was no way Alice would let it happen to anyone else. I think she's going to sleep, Emmett said as they watched the light in the room go out. We should go home. What do you think of everything we heard? Alice asked as they slowly walked back to their home, interested in the other's opinion of what she had been seeing for so long. I understand why you are so interested in her, Emmett said. I don't know what kind of gift she has though. It's obvious she is talking to someone, but do you think it's just how her gift works? Like she can hear voices in her head that she interacts with? Rosalie asked. Alice shrugged. When I was human I heard voices instead of having visions, so it's possible. What I don't get is her telling the voice to find evidence for her. Maybe she hasn't figured out how to control it and has to vocally command it to get it to work. Emmett wasn't sure exactly how the girl's gift worked, but they did have proof it was accurate. Should we look into that hitman she talked about? Yeah, I think we should. She doesn't need to get the attention of someone like that. Hearing the girl talk had proved to Rosalie that the girl did indeed need help. A teenager shouldn't be getting involved with hitmen. We have a few hours before school starts. Maybe we can find something to help her figure out who killed that guy. I just wished she said the name of the victim. It would have been nice to have a little more information. The other two murmured their agreement as Alice walked beside them through the woods. She was kind of excited for school the next day because after 2 years of observing her she was finally going to be able to meet the girl who had been the main topic of her visions for the last 2 years. Alice just had to remind herself that she had to be careful with how she acted around her. If the girl's gift was as powerful as it seemed, then the girl would probably be cautious of anyone she interacted with. Alice didn't mind though. She was immortal, so time was something she had an abundance of. So if she had to wait for the girl to open up, she could do it. No matter how frustrating it would be. Bella woke up feeling surprisingly rested. She hadn't been bothered throughout the night and was able to actually sleep without interruption. Bella knew that the peace wouldn't last long, as some spirits that had been hanging around Forks would figure out she was here and begin asking for her help. It happened every time she visited a new town for more than a couple days. The random ones who visited seemed to find out about her through others. She wasn't quite sure how that worked, but when she had asked how a ghost like Ralph, who was murdered in California, had found out about her, he simply said she was recommended by a friend. No matter how many times she asked, he would never change his answer. Bella figured there was more to it than a simple recommendation, but could never get any kind of proof otherwise. "Hey Bells, you up?" Charlie's voice asked from the other side of her bedroom door. "Yeah, Dad. I'm awake, I'll be down in a minute." Bella rolled out of bed and made her way to her closet. Grabbing some clothes, she went to the bathroom and did her morning routine before following the smell of bacon to the kitchen. "Here, I made you breakfast." Charlie placed a plate of eggs, bacon and toast on the table. "Thanks, Dad. You didn't have to cook." Bella was touched that her father had actually made the effort to cook for her. Her mother never did, and it was always left to Bella to make sure they were properly fed. "After living alone for so long, I figured it would be cheaper to learn how to cook than to pay for takeout for 3 meals a day. I just couldn't justify the cost no matter how convenient it was," Charlie said, sitting down with his own plate across from Bella. "Well, it tastes good." Bella was actually impressed with her father's skill. After finishing up, Charlie took both plates and set them in the sink. "I'll take care of these later. We need to head out if we are going to be on time." "You can leave them for me to take care of when I get home," Bella offered. Charlie shook his head as they made their way out the door. "That's okay. We will work out some kind of chore list for you to do later. I am more than capable of taking care of a home, so it will be my job to pitch in just as much as you do." Bella didn't really know how to reply to that. At her mother's house, Bella was in charge of the household. Renee wasn't interested in household chores and left them to Bella. Having her dad telling her that he would be doing just as much around the house as she did was a nice change. It would take some getting used to, but it was nice to know that her father cared enough about her that he genuinely wanted to take care of her. "Well, this is it," Charlie said as he pulled up to the old school building. It looked like it was new in the 1940s, and the last time it was updated was the 1990s. Bella was surprised at how small it was compared to her old school. Then again, this was a small town that probably didn't have that many kids going to school. "Thanks for the ride, Dad. I'll see you after, right? I'll be here to pick you up at 2:30 on the dot. I won't be late," Charlie promised. "See you then." Bella made her way out of the car, giving her father a wave goodbye. She took a deep breath and made her way to the front doors. Luckily, the office was right inside the door, so she didn't have to go looking for it. "Hello." A woman greeted her when she walked through the door. "Hi, I'm Isabella Swan. I just moved her," Bella said. The woman's face lit up hearing her name. "The chief's daughter. We have been expecting you." Bella wasn't exactly sure how to reply to that, so she just stood there while the woman stared at her. Bella wasn't sure what she was looking for. When the silence became awkward, Bella decided to get to the reason she was there. "I was told to come here for my schedule." "Of course." The woman dug around through some papers. "Here's your schedule and a map of the school. Make sure you have your teacher sign this slip and bring it back here at the end of the day." "Thanks." Bella waved over her shoulder to the woman as she made her quick exit. She hoped that she could make it to her first class without bringing attention to herself, but as an Asian boy with greasy hair and terrible acne approached her, she felt that hope die. "Hey, I'm Eric. You're Isabella, right?" the boy asked. "I prefer Bella." Bella told him, already predicting she would be correcting people all day. "Cool, so what's your first class?" Eric asked. Bella wasn't sure she wanted to give the boy any encouragement to pursue a friendship with her, but reasoned it would be good to at least know some people. "I've got history with Mr. Berman." "That's on the way to my class. Do you want me to show you how to get there? Eric offered. Bella had a feeling that her class wasn't in fact on the way to his but wasn't about to call him out on the lie. Sure. Great. Eric smiled like he just won the lottery when she accepted his offer. So how are you liking Forks? I like it just fine. Bella told him. It's got to be a big difference from Arizona though? Eric asked. Bella didn't know how the boy knew where she was from. How do you know where I lived before? Everyone knows. You have been the talk of the whole school since your dad came in to register you. Eric, seeing her frown, quickly assured her. No one has said anything bad. All we knew was that we were getting a new student, that she was the chief's daughter and she was from Arizona. That's okay, I guess. Bella figured that in a town this small the news of the teenager daughter of the police chief was exciting news. Well, here's you, class. Eric lingered by the door, not letting Bella actually go in. If you want, you can sit with me and my friends at lunch. I'll let you know. Bella wasn't going to make any promises to the boy. She wanted to see what type of people he sat with before making a commitment. She had learned long ago that she didn't mix well with certain people. Cool, well, I'll see you at lunch. Eric said, ignoring the fact that she hadn't actually said she would sit with him. Bella sighed as she made her way into the classroom, feeling all eyes focused on her. This was going to be a long day. Hopefully she could get through it without being bothered by any spirits. The last thing she needed was to get caught talking to herself on her first day. With the amount of attention she was already getting, it would be impossible to explain away, and she didn't want people to think she was crazy. If they did, it would get back to Charlie and he would probably make her go to a therapist like her mother had. Not only was seeing one not necessary, it was hard to sit through a session with a person who wanted you to explain why you did something that you couldn't actually tell them the truth about. No one deserved dealing with that. Have you seen her yet? Rosalie asked Alice as she joined her and her siblings at their lunch table. Rosalie had wanted to get to school early enough so that she could get a glimpse of the girl and maybe have a chance to introduce herself, but was held up by Edward. He had started a fight with Alice about wanting to meet the girl. He was of the opinion that the girl was dangerous for the family to be around because she was involved in things that could easily catch the attention of the authorities. Rosalie could see his point, but that didn't change the fact that the girl needed help. Help that only they could give her, because if the girl tried to get help from humans, she would no doubt be locked up and heavily medicated. No, but I did find out her name is Isabella, but she prefers Bella and she's from Arizona where she lived with her mother. Alice had been disappointed that she didn't get to have any classes with Bella. She just hoped that one of their afternoon classes were the same so she could get a chance to talk to the human. Bella. Rosalie rolled the name around in her mind. She decided she liked it. She hasn't had any episodes, has she? Not that I heard of. What about you guys? Alice asked her siblings. I haven't cared enough to find out. Edward sighed. He thought his family's obsession with the girl was dangerous. He just couldn't understand why no one saw it. At least Jasper was on his side. He could always count on his mate to back him up. From what I heard, it seems she doesn't talk much. I heard people talking about her, but the topic was about her looks more than her personality. Emmett said, ignoring Edward's comment. Of course they would be worried more about the girl's looks than what she is actually like, Rosalie scoffed. She just walked through the door. Alice said, sitting up in her chair to try and see over Emmett. Where? Rosalie. She looked over to see Bella. She saw a slim girl, a couple inches shorter her, with red highlighted brown hair and the most beautiful face Rosalie had ever seen. After finishing her inspection, Rosalie looked the girl in the eyes, and when hers connected with the deep chocolate color, Rosalie felt like something inside her suddenly clicked into place. Like she had just found the meaning of life. Alice nudged Rosalie in the side, trying to get her attention. You're staring. She's my mate. Rosalie whispered, unable to take her eyes off of Bella. She wasn't sure what the human was thinking, but it seemed Bella was just as taken with Rosalie as Rosalie was with her. What? Emmett wasn't sure he heard his sister right. She's my mate. Rosalie repeated. The spell was broken when the girl looked away, confused, but the break in eye contact gave Rosalie the will to look away. She's your mate? When Rosalie nodded, Alice squealed in excitement. This is so exciting. That must be why I've been having so many visions of her. She can't be your mate. Edward sighed. Why not? Emmett asked. How many times do I have to remind you guys that she is too dangerous to be around? Edward sighed. If you think she's so dangerous, tell us what she's thinking, Alice said. Edward shifted uncomfortably in his seat. I can't tell. What do you mean you can't tell? Rosalie asked. I mean I can't read her mind. She's blocking me somehow. Edward didn't like admitting that his gift was not working. She just keeps getting cooler every time we find out something new about her. Emmett wanted to meet Bella even more than before. Do you think she has two gifts? It's rare for a vampire to have more than one gift, but I would think it was unheard of for a human to have two. Alice wondered what this meant for Bella. Jasper, can you feel her emotions? Jasper focused for a second, then shook his head. I don't feel anything from her at all. This is just more proof she is dangerous. I mean, we don't know what she is thinking, and Jasper has no way of manipulating her emotions to get her to talk to us, Edward sighed. It doesn't mean she is dangerous, it just means she is special, Alice corrected. How do you think we should approach her? Emmett asked. I don't know, but I'm not going to stay away from her. Rosalie wasn't going to let anyone keep her from her mate. No matter how dangerous they thought she was or not, Bella was who fate chose to match her with. No one expects you to stay away from her, Alice assured Rosalie. It looks like she is coming this way. Should we say something? Emmett wanted to meet the girl to see what she was like. The fact that she had two gifts made him want to know what else she could do. Act natural. Alice hissed at her siblings. In a minute. Rosalie heard the girl say. Looking up, she didn't see anyone standing near the girl, and Bella's eyes were on the ground. Rosalie willed her to look up, but Bella kept her head down and made her way outside to the picnic tables and took a seat. Well, that was a bust. Emmett grumbled. Shush. Alice shushed him. She's talking again. The entire table went quiet as each member of the family focused on the girl outside. Look, I'm sure your mother is a perfectly wonderful human being, but there is no way in hell I'm telling her that. They all watched as Bella's face became frustrated. Why? Because I don't want to get locked up. If I approached you, what would you think if I told you that? Who is she talking to? Edward asked. We don't know. It's how I see her in my visions as well. She acts like she is having a conversation with someone, Alice told him. Seriously, this girl needs professional help. You guys need to stay away from her, Edward sighed. No one is staying away from her except for you, Rosalie growled. Alright, fine. I'll go tonight after my dad goes to sleep. You better be right though, because if I get caught I have no way to explain what I was doing. Bella said, getting up from the table. Now leave me alone, I have to get back to school. Where is she going tonight? Rosalie asked. Alice shook her head in frustration. I don't know. I missed what she was saying. Great. Rosalie glared at Edward. What? I didn't do anything. Edward didn't appreciate the angry looks he was getting from his family. I will let you guys know if I have a vision, and just in case I don't, keep your eyes and ears open. Maybe she will let it slip what she is up to, Alice told them. If we don't figure it out, I'm going to follow her. Rosalie quickly corrected herself. Actually, even if we figure it out, I'm going to follow her. I have a feeling she is going to be doing something dangerous. We can take turns watching over her if you want. Emmett volunteered. Not only was Bella Rosalie's mate, but the human was very interesting. He had no doubt that she was going to liven up the Cullen family's lives. That sounds like a good idea. One of you guys can take my car home. I'm going to follow her home and make sure she stays safe. When she leaves, I will let you know so you can come help. Rosalie told Alice and Emmett, earning murmurs of agreement from her siblings. She didn't even bother addressing Edward or Jasper, because even if they went along with the plan, Rosalie didn't trust them to keep Bella safe. The bell ringing ceased any further discussion. Rosalie made her way out of the cafeteria, hoping that she would at least have one class with Bella. If she didn't, she would have to change her schedule to match Bella's. Maybe she could do a trade-off with Alice and Emmett to make sure each of her classes was covered. Bella might get suspicious if she came to school and found Rosalie in all her classes. She's leaving, Rosalie said into the phone as she watched Bella make her way out her window and climb down the tree next to it. She had been watching the girl all afternoon and nothing happened, except at one point Bella had rummaged through the garage and pulled out a shovel which she hid in the trees on the other side of her lawn. Rosalie wasn't sure why Bella needed a shovel, but it lent credence to Bella being involved in something possibly dangerous. Rosalie stepped back into the shadows as Bella approached the area she was standing in and grabbed the shovel and took off into the forest. Where are you guys headed? Alice asked over the line. She is actually walking through the woods going towards the way we came to her house last night, Rosalie told her. What the hell is she doing in the woods? Emmett asked. Rosalie could hear them walking through the forest over the phone line. I don't know, but she has a shovel. What the fuck? Emmett swore. We see her, so we will see you in a second. Rosalie watched as Bella turned on a flashlight. She didn't understand exactly what the human was doing, but being alone in the wilderness at 1 o'clock in the morning was not a smart idea. Bella didn't seem like she was in that great of shape if the way her breathing sounded meant anything, and Rosalie was almost positive that the girl wouldn't be able to defend herself if she was attacked. What is she doing? Alice asked quietly as she made her way to Rosalie with Emmett right beside her. I have no clue. When she got home, she did her homework, watched TV, made dinner, spent some time with her father, and then went to bed. Her alarm woke her up about a half an hour ago. She slipped out her window, grabbed the shovel, and here we are, Rosalie told them. Has she spoken out loud to anyone? Alice hoped that she would have had a vision of what Bella was up to, but nothing had come to her. Rosalie shook her head. Just her father. The trio followed the human for over a half an hour in silence, not once gaining an idea what Bella was doing. Rosalie was almost to the point of revealing herself to ask what the girl was doing out there in the dark when Bella suddenly veered left out of the forest towards the backyard of an old house. I think she is going to that house. Why is she visiting a house in the middle of the night carrying a shovel after taking the long way through the forest? Emmett really wanted to know what was going on. Okay, so you are positive it hasn't been moved, correct? They heard Bella say. Good, I'll dig. You watch to make sure no one catches me. Rose crept closer to get a better look at what Bella was doing. It seemed Bella was intent on digging up the homeowner's backyard. What is she trying to find? I don't know, but did you hear her tell someone to keep watch? Alice wasn't sure how Bella was going to dig and keep watch at the same time. Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but we should make sure no one finds her, Emmett said. She is digging a really big hole. Rosalie wasn't sure what Bella was looking for, and she feared that Bella was actually looking for a body. You think she's looking for a body too? Alice could easily see the other two thinking the same thing she was. Yup. Emmett said. I hope it isn't a body. Rosalie was worried for her mate. She really needed to make contact with Bella soon. Especially if Bella got up in the middle of the night to dig up bodies in a random person's backyard. It looks like she found something, Alice said as she saw Bella stop digging to bend down. You freaking buried this deep enough. Bella grumbled. They all watched Bella get on her knees and reach into the hole. How about you stop complaining about how fast I'm going and do your job? If I get caught, I'm going to burn this. Rosalie crept even closer when she saw Bella struggling to pull something out of the hole. She wanted to reveal herself to Bella but didn't want to scare the girl. As she watched Bella struggle to pick up whatever was in the hole, she decided that she didn't care about keeping herself secret. Stepping out of the tree line, Rosalie approached Bella. What are you doing? Ah. Bella dropped the chest she was holding and fell forward into the hole. Or she would have if the blonde girl hadn't caught her first. Pulling herself away from the girl, Bella looked around to make sure no one heard her scream. The people living in the house heard you. You need to grab it and go. Cindy, the teenage ghost she was helping, said. Bella shot the ghost a glare. You could have told me about the blonde. I didn't see her. I mean, who would have expected someone to come out of the woods? Cindy told her. Bella thought that was a good point. Looking up at the confused-looking blonde, she made a decision. Look, I don't know who you are or why you are here, but can you help me with this before the homeowners have a chance to shoot me? Rosalie still wasn't sure exactly what was going on or who Bella was talking to, but as she saw the outside lights in the house go on, she leaned down in the hole and grabbed the metal box and pulled it out. I got it, come on. Thanks. Bella grabbed her shovel and flashlight and followed the girl into the woods. After they got what she considered a safe distance away from the house, she confronted the girl. Why were you at those people's house at this time of night? I could ask you the same thing. Rosalie said. She should have thought a little more about revealing herself to Bella and at least had a reason for being there, but her need to protect her mate pushed her to go to Bella. She wasn't sure what was in the hole, and the need to make sure it wasn't something dangerous had made her feet move before she could stop herself. I was digging a hole. Bella told her. Why were you digging a hole? Rosalie asked. She wondered where Alice and Emmett were. She figured they were still close by but couldn't see them. I was looking for that box you were holding. Bella motioned to the box. The box that I will now happily take from you. What's in the box? Rosalie wasn't going to let Bella take the box until she knew it was safe. Bella shrugged. I don't know, I don't care, and even if I did, it's none of my business. Then why did you dig it up? Rosalie asked. Because I was asked to. Bella wasn't going to tell the blonde that a ghost pestered her until she agreed. Who are you anyway? I'm Rosalie Hale. We go to school together, Rosalie said. Well, it's nice to meet you. Now if you don't mind, can I have that box? It's late and I want to go back to bed. Bella would like to stay and get to know the intriguing girl, but she was tired and had school in the morning. Rosalie tried to figure out a way to get Bella to tell her what was in the box. She would have just opened it, but it would have been kind of rude. So you don't know what's in the box? Someone told you to get it and you aren't even curious about what it is that you are sneaking around in the middle of the night to dig up? Nope. I don't care what's in the box. My role in all this was to dig up the box and deliver it to an address. What's in the box or who the person is that is getting the box is none my business. The less I know, the better. Bella didn't want to get tangled up with whatever was in the box. It would just bring more headaches. Bella, you need to get going. She's on the night shift and will be leaving soon. Cindy was obviously getting impatient and Bella couldn't blame her. She was also getting impatient. I know, I'm trying to get her to give me the box, Bella said. Rosalie looked around trying to see who Bella was talking to. Who are you talking to? I'm talking to myself. Now please give me the box. Bella reached her hands out to take the box only to come up empty when Rosalie moved the box out of reach. Seriously, Rosalie, give me the damn box. Rosalie felt a shiver go through her body hearing Bella say her name. Trying to figure out a way to stay close to Bella, she offered. How about I carry the box to the address you were told? That way if there is something dangerous in the box I can help you get away from it. Fine, follow me. Bella knew that the fastest way to get this done was to just agree. It was obvious Rosalie wasn't going to leave her alone. Why are you out here tonight? I like to walk at night, Rosalie told her. Cool, Bella replied. Rosalie looked over at Bella trying to see what the girl was thinking. That Bella so easily accepted that a random teenager liked to walk in the woods in the middle of the night was surprising. If it was Rosalie who found a random person, she would want to know what they were up to. Case in point, her carrying a box she didn't know what it contained to a random location with Bella, who had no information on why she was doing it. We are almost there. Bella steered Rosalie out of the woods to the parking lot of the town's only supermarket. It's that car right there. Cindy moved to a green car parked in the employee parking lot. Just set it on the hood of this car, Bella told Rosalie. Whose car is this? Rosalie asked, setting the box on the hood of the car. Don't know, don't care. Bella started walking towards the tree line, stopping to take a seat on a large rock that hid her from view. What are we waiting for? Rosalie asked as she stood next to the rock. She wanted to sit next to her mate but didn't want to push her luck. We are waiting for that, Bella said, pointing at an elderly woman who was walking toward the car with the box on it. Rosalie watched the woman dressed in a store uniform walk up to the car and put her hand over her mouth when she saw the box. Rosalie could easily tell the woman was sobbing from the way her shoulders shook. The woman opened the box and started pulling random items out of it. Rosalie couldn't make out exactly what the contents were because the opening was facing away from her, but it seemed like it was some kind of time capsule. Good, now we can go. Bella got up from the rock. Turning to Cindy, she spoke, Good luck. Thank you, Bella, Cindy said as she made her way over to the woman with the box. Rosalie was stunned by everything she had witnessed. So you were told to dig up a random box in the middle of the night to bring to a woman you don't know, and come to find out it is something extremely personal and sentimental. Yup, Bella said as she made her way through the woods towards her home. Who told you to do it? Rosalie asked. An acquaintance. Bella wasn't going to explain herself to some random person. Especially a random person who showed up in the middle of the night. Rosalie wanted to push for more information but held back. She didn't want to spook Bella and make the girl avoid her. I guess you are going home now. I don't have any other boxes to dig up if that's what you are thinking, Bella said. Rosalie chuckled. I wasn't thinking that, right? Bella said. Walking next to her mate, Rosalie tried to think of what to say. She really wanted to know about Bella's gift but knew if she asked more about it Bella would just avoid her in the future. So where are you from? I'm from Arizona, Bella replied. Why did you move to Forks? Rosalie asked. My dad lives here and I wanted to spend my senior year with him, so we have some time together before I go to college, Bella told her. Rosalie had a feeling there was more to the story than that. So you lived with your mom in Arizona? Yup. Bella wasn't going to elaborate. She may be intrigued by Rosalie, but the fact of the matter was that Rosalie was a random teenager walking through the woods in the middle of the night. As they walked up to Bella's backyard, Rosalie tried to figure out how to get a chance to talk to Bella again. So I guess you will be going back to bed. It's late, shouldn't you be getting back to bed as well? Bella asked. I'm going to go home after this, but if you want I can give you a ride to school tomorrow. Rosalie offered. I noticed you had to get a ride with your dad. That's okay. I like riding with my dad. Bella was tempted to take the ride but didn't want to be alone with Rosalie. It was already bad enough Rosalie had seen her digging up the box. Who knew what would happen if she was alone with the blonde? She didn't want to do anything else that was suspicious. Are you sure? I don't mind. Rosalie really wanted to spend time with her mate. Bella shook her head. No thank you. Okay, then I guess I'll see you at school tomorrow. Rosalie had to stop herself from following after Bella as she walked towards her house. See you tomorrow. Bella waved as she made her way back to the tree. As soon as Bella was out of sight, Rosalie went into the woods, being met by Alice and Emmett. What do you guys think? Well, I think it is nice that she delivered that box to the woman, Alice said. Yeah, at least it wasn't a body this time. Emmett had kind of wished it was. She didn't tell me how she knew about it though. Rosalie had been disappointed that Bella hadn't confided in her. You can't expect her to tell you about her gift right away, Rosalie. I'm actually surprised she didn't freak out about you showing up out of nowhere, Alice said. Me too. If it had been Emmett, he would have done more than just scream if some random person came out of the woods in the middle of the night to confront him. That was a little odd, Rosalie agreed. I wasn't actually planning on revealing myself to her, but then I got worried that she was digging up something dangerous and my instincts took over. I'm glad it was just that box. Me too. I wonder how many other random things she has delivered to people like this. I've never seen her do it in a vision, but it seemed like this was something she has done before, Alice said. It seems like she uses her gift for many different things. I still want to know how it works though. Rosalie hated that she still didn't know enough about Bella's gift to help the girl out. There isn't much we can do to find out unless we ask her, and since she didn't accept your offer for a ride, we will have to figure out another way to get close to her, Alice said. I'm going to hack the school servers and find out what classes she has. The three of us can split which ones we have with her. Rosalie figured that way if Bella wouldn't talk to her, she may talk to Alice or Emmett. Rosalie of course would be beyond jealous if one of her siblings got the chance to get to know her mate before she did, but if it was a way for her to get closer to Bella, she would take it. I was thinking the same thing. Alice told her. Are you okay with switching your classes, Emmett? Totally. Emmett was more than willing to get closer to Bella. Anyone who walked around in the middle of the night to dig up a mystery box was someone he wanted to know. Good, then we will get our schedules fixed tomorrow. Rosalie was glad they were all on the same page. Bella didn't have any problems during her first day at school other than the moment at lunch when she went outside. It was only a matter of time though before Bella had an episode. She didn't want her mate to be the target of gossip or to be bullied because of her gift. It was Rosalie's job to protect Bella, even if the protection needed was from human teenagers. Alice had been excited when she got to school, and Rosalie and Emmett had switched their schedules around so one of them would be in each of Bella's classes. It seemed Alice would get first period with Bella all to herself. Luck had been on her side when she entered biology, and the only seat open was at the table with Bella. Alice had tried to introduce herself, but it seemed Bella hadn't even noticed. Alice had sat down next to, had observed the girl, and was worried about the dark circles under Bella's eyes. When Bella had yawned, Alice realized that due to her nighttime activities the human probably didn't get much sleep the night before. It was also because of that lack of sleep that Alice was in the position she was in right now. Alice wasn't sure exactly what to do because minutes after the bell rang, Bella had drifted off to sleep and was now leaning into Alice with her head slumped on Alice's shoulder. Alice knew Bella was in no way comfortable in that position, seeing as Alice was so much shorter than the human. Bella didn't seem to mind though and was snoring softly in her ear. Alice smiled when an idea came to her and pulled out her phone and took a picture. She sent it in a group chat to Rosalie and Emmett. As she expected, they both replied immediately. WTF? E. What did you do to my mate? R. I didn't do anything. I didn't even talk to her. She just fell asleep on me. A. Is she sick? R. I think she is just tired. She probably didn't get much sleep last night. A. Noticing the teacher had stopped talking, Alice shoved her phone in her bag and watched as the man walked to their desk. Alice tried to wake Bella up, but even shaking the girl didn't work. Bella just snuggled closer and threw her arm around Alice. Shaking Bella again, Alice hissed in Bella's ear. Bella, wake up. Tepenki suvi umaivak riadu. Bella shouted as she was jolted awake. Initially she didn't know where she was, but the sound of teenagers laughing clued her in. Looking around, she realized that she must have fallen asleep in class. Miss Swan, are we boring you? The teacher asked. Bella shook her head. No sir. Good, because if I catch you sleeping again you will be getting detention. The teacher then moved on, getting back to what he was teaching. You speak Slovak? Alice asked. Not many people knew the language, and the fact that Bella did was surprising. Huh? Bella looked at the small girl sitting next to her and had the girl sat down next to her. When you woke up you said something in Slovak, Alice explained. Oh, yes, I speak it. Bella told her. Who taught you? Alice wondered how a teenager would have learned such a random language. Bella tried to think of a believable answer other than a ghost had been visiting her since she was young and taught her. A friend taught me. Cool. Alice could tell there was more to the story but didn't want to make Bella uncomfortable. I'm Alice, by the way. Nice to meet you, Alice. I'm Bella. Bella said. She looks hot. A little on the young side for me, but if I was 10 years younger and had a pulse I would make a move on her. Ralph said as he appeared next to Alice. For fuck's sake, what do you want? Bella really didn't feel like dealing with a ghost. I don't want anything. Alice was confused by Bella's sudden hostility. As Ralph began laughing, Bella sent him a glare. Softening her features, she turned to Alice. Sorry, I thought I heard someone calling my name. That's all right. It happens. Alice easily accepted Bella's excuse, knowing that it was probably the girl's gift that was acting up. Man, I should visit you in school more often. It's kind of fun when people think you are just blurting out random things, Ralph said. I wish I could strangle you. Bella said softly enough that no human would be able to hear her, knowing Ralph would. Unfortunately for Bella, Alice wasn't a human and could hear her just fine. Looking around, she tried to figure out exactly who or what Bella was talking to. She saw nothing, so she turned her focus to the blackboard, pretending to pay attention to the teacher when in reality all of her attention was on the girl sitting next to her. It probably would have hurt a lot less than getting shot in the head, Ralph said. What do you want? Bella asked. Did you find something? Ralph stood in front of her, nodding his head. Yup, I found the shop where the freezer that has my body in it is at. At least it's a lead, Bella said. What's the name and address of the place? Alice watched out of the corner of her eye as Bella scribbled the name and address to Mike's Body Shop in California. Alice guessed that was the place of the body that Bella had been talking about the night she, Rosalie, and Emmett had gone to her house. Pulling out her phone, she texted the information in group chat. Does that mean she's using her gift right now? I think she is. Can you figure out how it works? No, she is just talking out loud, but whoever or whatever is answering is annoying her. So the voice in her head has a personality? I guess. Her gifts isn't hurting her, is it? Not from what I have seen. One thing of note is that she speaks Slovak. How do you know that? When she woke up she shouted in Slovak. What did she say? Something about shoes being in a dishwasher. What the hell? Do you think she speaks anything else? I'm not sure. I don't want to interrupt her from whatever she is doing, so maybe you could ask her next period. I'm on the case. Do not interrogate her. I won't. I mean it. I promise I will not interrogate her. Let us know if anything else happens. Alice gathered her things when the bell rang and waited for Bella. When the human noticed she was waiting, she explained. I thought I could walk with you to your next class. Oh, okay. Bella wasn't sure why someone would want to walk her to class, but at least it wasn't one of the random boys who had tried the day before. So what class do you have next? Alice asked. I have trig, Bella told her. My boyfriend is in that class, Alice said. Cool. Bella really didn't know how to make small talk, so she just stayed quiet, hoping this walk wouldn't take too long. Noticing that she wasn't going to get any more out of Bella, Alice walked silently next to her. She was almost vibrating with all the questions she was keeping from asking Bella, but it was obvious that it would scare the girl off if she asked her anything. Well, here it is. Thanks for walking me to class. Bella figured it was the polite thing to do to thank Alice. Maybe I'll see you later today, Alice said as she waved to Emmett. He was in the classroom waiting for Bella to sit down so he could take the chair next to her. Maybe, Bella said as she walked into class. She caught the eye of a boy that looked like he should be in college and not in high school and felt extremely uncomfortable by the bright grin on the boy's face. She had a feeling that she wouldn't be getting through this class unnoticed and hoped that Ralph wouldn't come back to bother her. She already had to deal with it happening around Alice. If it happened around Alice's boyfriend, Bella didn't want them to compare notes and get suspicious. Rosalie felt her heart drop when she walked into art and saw Bella's frown when she made eye contact with her. Rosalie had hoped that Bella would be happy to see her, but it seemed she wasn't very happy to have Rosalie there at all. Knowing there was nothing to be done about it, she gave her slip to the teacher and made her way to the back of the room to take the seat next to Bella. When a boy she didn't know took the seat instead, she glared at him until he gulped and moved to another seat on the opposite side of the room. Looking at Bella once again, Rosalie noticed the furrowed eyebrows as Bella looked at the boy. She hoped her mate wasn't upset with having to sit next to her. "Hi, Bella." "Hello, Rosalie." Bella wasn't sure what was going on, but it seemed that Rosalie and her family had switched classes, as she had Alice in her first period and Emmett in her last one. Now that Rosalie was in this class, she wondered if the other two were going to be in any of the rest of the classes she had that day. "How's your day going?" Rosalie asked. "It's going fine. Yours?" Bella replied. "It's going well." Rosalie wasn't sure how to prolong the conversation, and as the bell rang and the teacher began explaining what the class was working on, she tried to figure out how to get Bella to talk to her. Bella tried to pay attention to what the teacher was talking about, but it was hard when she could feel Rosalie's eyes on her the entire time. She wasn't sure what she had done to garner so much attention from the blonde, and she wasn't exactly sure how she felt about it. It should have been creeping her out, but in the back of her mind, Bella found a small part of her liked having Rosalie so focused on her. "Do you think I could have been a good nude model?" Ralph asked. "I don't think you should be asking a 17-year-old girl if you would look good naked," Bella whispered as she pulled her sketchbook out of her bag and got started drawing the pile of random things in the middle of the room. "Well, it's not like I'm actually going to get naked. I just wondered if I would be a good model, with my clothes off," Ralph added at the end. "I don't want to think about you naked," Bella told him. "I would like to see this blonde naked." Ralph stood next to Rosalie. "There is no way this girl is a high school student. Ask her how old she is." "I'm not going to ask Rosalie how old she is so you can feel better about yourself for wanting to see her naked." Bella wasn't going to get involved with Ralph's random nonsense. Rosalie furrowed her brows as she listened to Bella whisper to herself. She wasn't exactly sure what her mate was talking about, but the comment about wanting to see her naked intrigued her. Why was Bella talking about seeing her naked? Rosalie hoped it was because the human was attracted to her, but knew it wouldn't be appropriate to ask. Sighing to herself, knowing she wouldn't be getting any answers anytime soon, Rosalie went back to sketching while listening to what Bella was saying. Maybe the girl would slip and Rosalie could figure out how her gift worked. "Are you saying you don't want to see her naked?" Ralph asked. Bella blushed at the thought. "Shut up. I knew it." Ralph laughed. "Bella Swan loves the ladies." "It's none of your business who I love, but it definitely isn't you. As a matter of fact, why are you bothering me? Don't you have things to do like surveillance on the people we think killed you?" Bella asked. Ralph shrugged. "I could be doing that, but I would rather stay with you. Besides, I'm keeping the others away." "What others?" Bella asked, knowing she wouldn't like the answer. "The others who want to talk to you. Who you are and what you have been doing to help us has gotten around, and now you have a fan club," Ralph told her. "How did they find out about me?" Bella asked. Hearing that someone found out about Bella had Rosalie instantly on alert. She didn't know who knew about her mate, but it wouldn't be good if someone did. Rosalie had to force herself to stay in her seat to keep herself from grabbing Bella and running as far away from Forks as she could to keep the girl safe. She needed more information though. If she could figure out who knew about the human, then she could eliminate them if she had to. Rosalie probably wouldn't enjoy it, but if it guaranteed her mate's safety, she would kill off the entire human population. "Like I said, word of mouth," Ralph said invasively. Bella wanted to push but knew Ralph wouldn't tell her. So you're saying that you are keeping all the others from bothering me? Yup. Ralph said. You aren't doing this out of the goodness of your heart though, are you? Bella knew Ralph wasn't the type to go out of his way to help someone if he didn't get something out of it. Would you believe me if I said I was? Bella shook her head, causing Ralph to huff. Fine, I'm doing it because if everyone else gets to you I won't get my case solved and I won't be able to find out who killed me. I knew it. Bella grumbled. Anyway, now that you have the info on where my body is, when are you going to tip off the police? Ralph asked. I need to get a burner phone first before I call them. I'll have to steal it if I don't want them tracking it to me. Bella wasn't excited that she would have to commit a crime to solve a crime, but it would keep her out of the loony bin, so she would do it. Cool, I'll go with you so I can be the lookout. Ralph seemed excited by the prospect. Fine, now will you leave me alone? I haven't even started on my work yet because you keep bothering me. Bella needed to get Ralph to leave her alone at least long enough to be able to learn something. Yeah, I'll leave you be and don't worry, no one else will bother you. I'll make sure of it, Ralph said as he disappeared. I'll believe it when I see it. Bella didn't have any hope of being left alone. Rosalie wasn't sure what she had just listened to, but it seemed like whatever Bella was doing with her gift was done because the human didn't say anything else for the rest of class. Rosalie had thought of numerous ways to start a conversation but held herself back. She wanted to make sure Bella wasn't distracted in case her gift revealed who was after her. Emmett had class with Bella next, so she would have him ask Bella to sit with them at lunch. Emmett said he hadn't heard or seen anything weird from Bella, but he also didn't get a chance to talk to her other than to introduce brother was the least threatening out of all of the Cullens and could easily put others at ease. Hopefully that would be the case with Bella, because as the bell rang and Rosalie watched her mate leave the room, Rosalie knew they would need to get Bella to talk to them soon so they could protect her from whatever threat was coming Bella's way. So she didn't want to eat lunch with us? Rosalie asked Emmett when he sat down at the Cullens' lunch table. Emmett was supposed to ask Bella to sit with them at lunch, but as Rosalie watched Bella take her lunch outside to the picnic tables, she figured Bella said no. Rosalie had hoped that her brother would have better luck at getting through to Bella, but it seemed he hadn't made any progress either. The closest any of them had gotten to Bella was Alice, and that was just because Bella had fallen asleep on her food and drink. No, and when I asked her she looked at me like she thought I had two heads, Emmett told them. How are we supposed to get her to talk to us? Rosalie wasn't sure how they were going to get Bella to even have a conversation with her, let alone tell them about her gift. I don't know. Alice said, frustrated. Every time I see us making a decision to talk to her, something gets in the way and it never ends with anyone having a conversation with her. It's like she is purposely avoiding our family in particular. Do you think she knows we are different? Emmett asked. I don't think so. I think she is just cautious. Humans are naturally wary of us. It could be her natural instincts keeping her away from us, Alice told them. Yeah, but what about the mate bond? Shouldn't that overcome some of her fear of us? Rosalie was sure that Bella felt the mate bond in some way. Maybe not as strongly as she did, but she had to feel at least a fondness for Rosalie. We don't know how humans react to the mate bond, Alice reminded her. Rosalie sighed. I know. I just want to get close to my mate. Where are Jasper and Edward? Emmett hadn't seen his brothers since that morning, and usually they met them in the cafeteria. Edward saw he didn't want to listen to us go on about Bella all period, so he and Jasper went to the library. Alice was happy Edward wasn't there. He had been nothing but a pain since Bella came into their lives. Did she use her gift around you, Emmett? Rosalie asked him. Emmett shook his head. Nope. I did try to talk to her a couple of times, but she only responded with short answers. It was obvious that she didn't want to talk to me. I want to know what the threat she was talking about was. Rosalie was almost to the point of confronting Bella about everything. There was no way to protect her mate if she didn't know what the threat against her was. How did she sound when she was talking about it? Was she scared? Alice asked. Rosalie shook her head. I wouldn't say she was scared. It was almost like she was annoyed. Just like when she talked to the voice when we were in class together. Alice wondered why Bella seemed to dislike the voice she heard so much. Do you think the voice is annoying, or do you think she is just annoyed with her gift altogether? I'm not sure. They were talking about drawing a picture and Bella mentioned that the voice shouldn't be asking a 17-year-old girl if she thought it looked good naked. Rosalie didn't mention the fact that Bella talked about seeing her naked as well. It wasn't something she thought her siblings should know. Do you think she might actually be talking to a real person? Emmett asked. What do you mean? Alice had some suspicions as well and wanted to know if her mate was thinking the same thing. It's just think about it. You have said in all your visions of her when she is using her gift that she is talking to someone. It seems she's talking to a different voice each time she talks about a different case, right? Alice nodded, making Emmett think that he was on the right track. What if she is actually speaking to different people that are involved with each case? What do you mean? Like dead people? Rosalie wasn't sure if that was the case, but she did have to admit that it had some merit. How would that explain the kidnapped victim though? Actually, that would make sense. I'm not sure if I believe it though. Alice wasn't a spiritual person and hadn't really thought of what happened when you die, but wasn't sold on the idea of spirits hanging around after you die. We are really considering that my mate talks to ghosts? Rosalie asked. Yeah, I mean even with the kidnapped victim it works. No one even knew the kid was missing and Bella already had the name of the people who took him and the address where he was being held. From what Alice said, she even gave the police the number of weapons and what kind they were. If there was a ghost attached to the boy, it would make sense they would go to the only person who could see them for help, Emmett said. I hate that this makes sense. Rosalie grumbled. I don't know how to help my mate if she has a gift that allows her to interact with ghosts. This is out of my wheelhouse as well. I think that the best thing to do is call Eliezer and ask him about it. I doubt he has ever come across this kind of gift, but if anyone could help us it would be him. Alice had hoped that she would have been able to help Bella control and use her gift better, but now she was sure that wasn't going to happen. She didn't have the first clue how to help someone who communed with the dead. Do you think the threat against Bella has to do with other spirits putting her in danger? Rosalie asked. What exactly did she say when she mentioned the danger? Emmett figured if they knew exactly what was said, that with the new information they had that they could figure it out. She didn't actually say she was in danger. She asked whoever she was talking to how did the others found out about her and said something about not believing that they were doing it out of the goodness of their heart. Rosalie tried to think what else was said but didn't think anything else was important. Maybe she actually isn't in danger then. Maybe other ghosts have found out about her, Alice said. Rosalie felt that they were on the right track. Have you ever heard her ask anything about how the voices found her in your visions? I don't know. I was always so focused on getting all the information for the cases she was working that I didn't really pay that much attention to things that didn't make sense. She could have said it though. Alice thought over her visions of Bella. There were many and they really didn't have the time for her to piece together each one right at that moment. So putting all the pieces to this puzzle together, we think that Bella talks to dead people and that the ghosts have figured out Bella has a way of helping them and that they are going to be bugging her a lot more, Emmett summarized. It sounds crazy when you put it all together like that, doesn't it? Rosalie knew if they were told this about anyone else they would have the person checked out by a professional, but with all the clues it added up to her mate being able to talk to dead people. I like the fact that instead of ignoring them that she actually helps them. Alice didn't know if she was a human if she would do the same thing. Yeah, but the one she is helping now is involved with a hitman, Emmett said. True, but we have the address to the building they put his body. Rosalie was already putting a plan in place. I want to stay near my mate, but how do one of you feel about stealing a burner phone and contacting the police with the information? I'll do it. Emmett volunteered quickly. This was what he hoped would happen when he learned Bella had moved to Forks. He wanted to help out with her missions and solve crimes. Good, then get it done before school is over because she mentioned having to steal one herself, Rosalie said. I'll get it done, don't worry, Emmett said. The bell ringing signaled the end of their conversation. Rosalie had class with Bella next, and with the new information they had about the girl she was going to keep an even closer eye on her mate. If Bella could really speak to ghosts, then Rosalie may not be able to keep her safe from them, but she could keep Bella safe from whatever the situations they put Bella in. At least now she knew why Bella had been digging up a box in the middle of the night. I miss you so much. The blonde woman sobbed as she clung to the teenaged girl. She says she has been watching over you and is very proud, the girl said awkwardly, patting the blonde woman on the back. Why did you do it? Why weren't we enough? Why wasn't I enough? The blonde asked. Before the girl answered, Alice was pulled from her vision. She knew both of the people in that vision and wasn't sure why Tanya Denali was hugging Bella. What confused her the most was that Tanya was able to get close to Bella whereas Rosalie and Emmett weren't able to get the girl to talk to them. Looking over at Bella, who was jotting down notes as the teacher droned on about the Revolutionary War, Alice made a decision. Pulling out her phone, she pulled up the group chat she had with Rosalie and Emmett. "We need to contact the Denali A. We already decided to do that. I had a vision. Does it have to do with Bella R? Yes, in it she was hugging Tanya. Why was my mate hugging another vampire? R. Alice smirked as she could almost feel Rosalie's jealousy coming through her phone. She wanted to mess with Rosalie a little bit but decided against it. It wasn't like that. What was it like then? Bella was comforting her. Why would Bella do that? I don't know, but I think we should invite the Denali to visit. I don't like the idea of my mate being around those three. The Denali would respect the mate bond. They will mess with you though. Bella hasn't accepted the bond yet. Can we wait? I think this could be the best way to get Bella to talk to us. There has to be another way. I think Alice is right. I'm not saying that just because she is my mate either. Fine, but make sure you tell them that Bella is my mate and I won't put up with any of their antics. Especially Kate. Kate is mated. Like that would stop her. Good point. I'll call them right after this class. How is Bella doing? She looks exhausted, but she hasn't talked to anyone. I'm going to try talking to her again next period. Alice didn't get a chance to reply before the bell rang. Making her way out of the classroom, she went to the parking lot instead of going to her next class. Getting into Rosalie's car, she pulled up Tanya's contact information and hit the call button. The vampire picked up on the third ring. "Hello." Tanya's voice greeted her. "Hello Tanya, it's Alice." Alice replied. "Since you are calling me personally, I assume this is official business," Tanya said. "Kind know about the girl I have been having visions of for the last couple years?" Alice asked. "Yes, Eliezer suspects the girl predicts the future as well," Tanya said. "Well, we figured out that she doesn't in fact see the future." Alice tried to think about how to tell Tanya without sounding crazy. "What exactly is her gift then?" Tanya asked. "We think she talks to dead people." Alice became concerned with the lack of response from Tanya. After a full minute, Tanya finally spoke. "Is this some kind of joke?" "No," Alice denied. "I know it sounds insane, but with all the evidence we have put together, it seems that Bella can speak to the dead." "What proof do you have of this?" Tanya asked. "We don't have absolute proof, but from what I've seen in visions and from what myself, Rosalie and Emmett have witnessed in person, it's the conclusion we have come to," Alice told her. "So if this is true, why aren't you calling Eliezer instead of me?" Tanya asked. "Because I had a vision of you personally interacting with Bella. None of us have been able to have a conversation with her, so seeing you talking to her and her reacting to you is something of a surprise," Alice explained. "You saw me having a conversation with the girl?" Tanya's voice sounded skeptical. "Well, it's more like you are hugging her and crying." Alice didn't feel it was right lying to Tanya about what she had seen. There was another long pause before Tanya spoke. "So you are telling me you had a vision of me hugging a random human who you believe can speak to the dead while I'm crying?" "Yes, that's exactly what I am telling you." Alice could tell Tanya didn't really believe her, but still hoped that the blonde would come to visit. "What is it you want me to do?" Tanya asked. "I was hoping that you and your coven would be willing to come to Forks and meet Bella," Alice said. "I will talk to the others and we will leave tonight," Tanya told her. Alice pumped a fist in the air. "Thank you so much." "Don't thank me yet. We don't know exactly what my connection with this girl is. It may be something negative," Tanya warned. "I don't think it will be, and if it is, we will deal with it. None of us have been able to get a reaction from Bella, and Rosalie is getting desperate. Any chance she has to get closer to her mate, she will take it." Alice knew it wouldn't be bad. From what she had seen, it would be emotional but not bad. "The girl is Rosalie's mate?" Tanya asked, sounding surprised. "Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you. That's why we think I have been having all the visions of her," Alice told her. "I'm happy for Rosalie and will warn Kate not to provoke her," Tanya promised. Alice sighed in relief. "Thank you." Rosalie was worried about that. "It's no problem, and now knowing it is Rosalie's mate that is involved, I understand the urgency of getting there quickly. We will leave soon," Tanya told her. "Thank you again," Alice said. "You're welcome." With that, the line went dead and Alice felt a lot better. She was worried that Tanya wouldn't want to come at all. Her agreeing to not only visit but to do so immediately was a big relief. Rosalie would especially appreciate it. Now all they had to do was figure out how to get Bella and Tanya to meet. Alice's vision was short and Alice hadn't seen where the pair had met or what led up to the meeting. Deciding to wait for Rosalie and Emmett to brainstorm, Alice got out of the car and made her way back to school. She had another class with Bella that afternoon and she didn't want to miss the opportunity to hopefully have a conversation with the human. "Hey Bella, wait up." Rosalie called out to her mate as she jogged at a human pace to catch up with her in the hallway after the last classes of the day let out. Rosalie had had 2 more classes with Bella but hadn't been able to speak to the girl at all. Now knowing that the Denali were coming and Tanya had some kind of connection to the human, Rosalie was feeling possessive. The 3 blonde vampires may have been mated, but Kate and Irina were known for flirting with everyone. How Tanya and Garrett put up with their mates Rosalie didn't know. What she did know was that she didn't want Bella around them without Rosalie there as well. To make sure she was included meant Rosalie had to make some kind of contact with Bella to build at least a rapport with her. "Hello." Bella greeted as she stopped and waited for Rosalie. "Hi," Rosalie replied. "I was wondering if you had plans for this afternoon?" Bella was somewhat taken aback at the invitation. She had tried to make it clear to Rosalie and her 2 siblings that she wasn't interested in talking to them, but it seemed that they didn't really get the hint. "I can't, sorry. I have plans with my dad." "Are you going to be busy all night?" Rosalie asked. She was positive that Bella was lying, especially since she had done her research and knew Charlie's schedule. He was working swing shift that afternoon and would be gone from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Yeah. Although Rosalie intrigued her and Bella would like to get to know her better, Bella knew it wasn't a smart idea to get close to people. When she let people get close, they noticed too much and she really didn't want to be thrown in a mental hospital. "Oh well, how about tomorrow? I can give you a ride to school," Rosalie offered. "That's okay, I like spending the time with my dad. We haven't really had that much time together since my mom and him got divorced. I want to make the most of what we have before I go to college." Bella lied. She would love to be anywhere other than in a car with her father, but until she got her own car she would be stuck relying on him. Rosalie tried to think of a different tactic to get Bella to accept the ride. Walking beside Bella out to the parking lot, she saw the police cruiser pulled up in front of the door. Deciding to be impulsive, she walked up to the car with Bella. It seemed luck was on her side because the passenger side window was down. "Hello, Chief Swan." Hello." Charlie responded. "My name is Rosalie Hale and I was wondering if it would be alright if I gave Bella a ride to and from school tomorrow?" Rosalie ignored Bella's surprised look. If her mate was going to be stubborn, then Rosalie was going to have to overstep some boundaries. "That would be great. I know Bells hates the cruiser and with my schedule it would be a big help." Charlie easily agreed. Not only would it be helpful, but it was nice that Bella had made a friend. Before Bella could reject the offer, Rosalie started walking back to her car, calling over her shoulder, "See you tomorrow, Bella." What was that about? Emmett watched Bella glare at Rosalie through the passenger window of the car as she and her father drove by. "I asked Bella if I could give her a ride to school again and she said no, not wanting to just settle for that. I asked her father for permission and he agreed," Rosalie told him. "That's perfect." Alice cheered. "How do you think it will go?" Emmett asked. "One of 2 ways. Either we will talk like old friends the whole time or she will ignore me as much as possible." Rosalie predicted that Bella would not be very cooperative in the morning. "I don't think you should go by yourself," Alice said. "Did you see something?" Rosalie asked. Alice shook her head. "I just don't think it should be just you. I think either myself or Emmett should be in the car as well. Yeah, Alice and I can sit in the backseat so that way if the conversation dulls we can make it not get awkward." Emmett liked the idea of spending some personal time with Bella. She might even use her gift while they were hanging out. "Don't you think that might overwhelm her?" Rosalie selfishly wanted the time with her mate to be just the 2 of them. "I don't think so. From what I've seen of Bella in my visions, she doesn't really feel comfortable in one-on-one situations. If it's the 3 of us, then I think she will be far more comfortable. Plus, if she does use her gift in some way, we can easily pretend it didn't happen. If it's just you, it will be harder for her to explain away," Alice said. "If it was just me and her, then if she used her gift I could confront her about it though," Rosalie countered. "I think if you did it would spook her and she might run off," Alice told her. "What do you mean run off?" Emmett asked. "I mean I think she would run away. I don't think you guys get how scared she is of someone finding out about her gift." Bella is convinced that she will be locked up. Even with the kidnapping victim, she was reluctant to get involved because she had to talk to the police personally. I have no doubt if one of us said something to her, she would take off never to be seen again. I haven't seen anything, but I'm pretty sure she has supplies and money saved up in case she has to, Alice explained. Jesus. Rosalie didn't know what to think of that, but it did make her realize that she would have to step back when it came to talking to Bella about her gift. We are going to have to be very careful with her, aren't we? Yup. Alice replied. Did you get the cell phone? Rosalie asked Emmett. Emmett grinned. I went all the way to Port Angeles to get it. I figured that it wouldn't be as easily noticed it was missing there. That was a good idea. Alice agreed. Did you call in the tip? I called not only the local police but the state police as well. I figured that at least one of them would put in the effort to see if the tip was real, Emmett told them. Should one of us go stake out Bella's house again? Alice asked. That way if the body is found we can monitor her involvement. I need to go hunting, but after that I will be going over there. Rosalie didn't want to leave her mate alone, but she needed to hunt. She hadn't been since before Bella had shown up and she didn't want to risk it. I don't mind taking first watch, Emmett volunteered. I'll go hunting with Rosalie. You should go after she relieves you. That way you aren't that uncomfortable in a car with Bella, Alice told him. Good idea. Emmett didn't want to risk his new best friend as he decided Bella was, if he could prevent it. Now that we have a plan, let's go home. I want to hunt as quickly as possible. Emmett, I want you to call me if anything happens. Even if you think it is just minor. Rosalie was going to hurry but knew until she was able to be near Bella again she was going to worry the whole time. No problem. Emmett called over his shoulder as he jogged at a human pace towards the tree line. She'll be all right. Emmett will make sure of it, Alice told Rosalie when she noticed the worry on her face. I know, I just hate not being near her, Rosalie said as she got in the car. Now that the tip had been called in, she knew that Bella would be notified. That's what worried Rosalie. The original conversation that they had heard Bella have with the ghost was that he would monitor the people they thought had ordered the kill and bring any information back to Bella. Rosalie's main worry was Bella providing evidence and the people who killed the man would come after her. Rosalie flinched when she heard the steering wheel creaking from her tightened grip. She needed to calm herself down enough to get through the next few hours until she could get to Bella. Her mate would be safe with her brother, and if something did happen to her, Alice was going to be looking for pieces of her mate for years to come. I need to do my homework, will you please leave me alone? Emmett perked up when he heard Bella speaking. He had been standing watch for over a half an hour and so far it had been boring. He didn't know what he expected would happen when looking after Bella, but her eating some food and doing her homework wasn't it. He had hoped that something exciting would happen and now it seemed like it was going to. Why would I go adopt a dog? Heard Bella ask someone. What do you mean it's a gift for your wife? How would a dead person give their wife a gift? Emmett mumbled. How am I supposed to pay for this? There was a pause. Then Bella spoke again. Yes, I do have the money, but it's mine. I don't have extra to go paying for adoption fees. Where is Ralph? He said he would keep you guys away from me. Ralph? Who the hell is Ralph? Emmett wondered if the Ralph guy was some kind of spirit guide if he kept ghosts away from Bella. Fine, I'll do it, but I don't know how I'm going to get there and then deliver the dog to your wife, Bella said. Emmett quickly pulled out his cell phone. This was definitely something Rosalie would want to know about. Bella needs a ride to go adopt a doggy. Emmett paced a bit, trying to figure out what he should do if Bella actually left before Rosalie answered back. What the hell is she adopting a dog for? It's a gift for a dead person's wife. What should I do? Alice and I are on our way. Keep watch, and if she leaves, follow her. Okay, I can do that. Emmett jumped in a tree to get a better look into Bella's room. He watched as she pulled a backpack out of the back of her closet and searched through it. Emmett's eyes widened when Bella pulled out a large pile of cash and took some bills from it and put it back in her bag. Holy shit. Alice was right. I really don't feel comfortable buying a dog. Can't we just get one from a shelter? Emmett listened as there was a pause before Bella spoke again. Oh, they are rescue puppies. I can get behind that, and you have already picked out the one you want? Emmett pulled out his cell phone and called Rosalie. Not waiting for a greeting, he hurriedly told her, she's on the move. Is she on foot? Rosalie asked. Yup, and she just made it off her driveway and is now heading west down the road. What should I do? Emmett started to follow Bella, staying far enough back that she wouldn't see him nor would she hear him. Reveal yourself to her and say you were out for a walk and saw her. It will give Alice and I the excuse to pick you up and then we can offer her a ride, Rosalie told him. Cool, I'll do that. See you soon. Emmett hung up and quickened his pace. He was beyond excited that he was getting the chance to talk to Bella. Maybe he could figure out how her gift worked and if she actually saw ghosts or if she just heard their voices. Hey Bella, wait up. What the? Bella jumped at the sound of a male voice coming from behind her. Turning around, she noticed Emmett Cullen jogging towards her. What are you doing here? I was just out for a walk and noticed you and wanted to say hi, Emmett told her. Okay. Bella didn't completely believe Emmett but wasn't sure how to call him out on it. At least it was just him and not his other two siblings. So where are you going? Emmett asked. Just like you, I am out for a walk. Bella didn't feel conformable telling Emmett what her plans were. He and his family's strange interest in her made her uncomfortable. Do you mind if I walk with you then? Emmett wondered why Bella was lying about where she was going. Going to adopt a dog wasn't that big of a deal. I guess. Bella figured if she let Emmett walk with her she could just lose him when he got bored. Cool, so how was your day? Emmett asked. Fine, and yours? Bella wasn't the greatest at small talk and hoped that Emmett would get annoyed enough with her he would leave. My day was great. And it's getting better, Emmett thought. He was getting a chance to hang out with Bella like he wanted. Is this guy going to prevent you from getting my dog? Ben, the ghost Bella was helping, asked. Bella turned her head to the side and whispered. He will get bored soon, then I will go get your dog. So how are you liking school? Emmett asked, pretending he didn't hear Bella talking to the ghost. At least he knew of her plan to ditch him. It's fine. Bella said. Just as Emmett was about to ask the next question, he saw his own Jeep pulling up beside them. He waved to his mate and sister. Hey guys, what are you doing here? We went to run an errand and noticed you walking, Alice told him. Do you guys want a ride? That would be great. Emmett answered for both him and Bella. Bella, you need to get my dog today. The lady said she would give it to someone else if I didn't come, Ben said. I know, but now I'm stuck with these three and I really don't want to explain my adopting a dog and giving it away to a stranger. Bella said, quiet enough that she thought only Ben could hear. Just ask them for a ride. You still have hours to go until you get to the lady's house and then you have to get it to my wife. It will take all night if you do it on foot, Ben told her. I know, it's just these people weird me out, Bella said. Please, my wife just lost me and I'm worried about her mental state. This dog will make her feel a lot better, I know it will. Just ask them for the ride, Ben pleaded. Fine. Bella turned her attention back to the trio and sighed. Would you be willing to take me to run an errand? Of course, whatever you need. Rosalie easily agreed. She and her siblings had heard Bella talking to the ghost and it was hard for Rosalie not to say something about it. Thank you. I need to go to this address to pick up a dog and deliver it to the second address. Bella handed Rosalie a piece of paper as she got into the back seat with Emmett. You're adopting a dog? Alice asked. Bella shook her head. I'm doing a favor for a friend. You're a real good friend if you are delivering a dog to someone, Rosalie said. That's me, great a friend, Bella said sarcastically. So what type of dog are we getting? Emmett asked. That's a good question. What type of dog am I getting? Bella asked Ben. A Brussels Griffon. Ben told her. It seems we are going to be getting a Brussels Griffon. Bella didn't know exactly what that was, but it wasn't any of her business what type of dog Ben wanted his wife to have. So you like dogs? Rosalie was trying to figure out ways to get her mate to talk to them, but it was like pulling teeth. She had suspected that when they had alone time together Bella would be difficult to talk to, but it was still frustrating. I hate dogs. Bella said. Alice chuckled. Then why are you going to get one? Because if I don't, my friend would bug me until I did. It was the truth. If Bella didn't help the ghosts, they would just annoy her until she did what they wanted her to do. Couldn't you have your friend do it themselves? Rosalie knew she was crossing into sensitive territory when she saw Bella stiffen in the rear view mirror. He's out of town and the woman who has the puppies can only hold it until today, Bella told her. Well, I personally am excited to see some puppies. Alice wasn't sure how the dogs would react to them as animals were wary of vampires in general. She hoped that since it was a puppy it would be a little more trusting. We're here. Rosalie said as she pulled into the driveway of a nice house that had a fenced-in yard with a group of dogs running around inside of. You guys can stay here if you want. Bella knew the lady would have questions and didn't want the trio to hear her answers. No problem, Alice said, cutting off Rosalie's objection. Thanks. Bella jumped out of the Jeep and made her way inside. Why didn't you let me go with her? Rosalie asked as soon as Bella entered the house. Because we make her uncomfortable. Now be quiet, I want to hear what they are saying, Alice said. Rosalie hated the fact that Alice was right. Bella was uncomfortable around them. It was Rosalie's opinion that the only way to fix that was for them to spend time together. So Ben sent you? They heard a woman's voice say. Ben died in a motorcycle accident last week. It was one of his final wishes that I get the puppy he picked out and bring it to his wife, Bella replied. Shit, she really does talk to ghosts, Emmett exclaimed. Alice looked at her maid in surprise. We knew that already. You were the one who brought it up. Well, yeah. Emmett shrugged sheepishly. But it's one thing thinking it and another thing having proof. Here she comes, be cool. Rosalie smiled when Bella walked up to the Jeep and got smile turned into a frown when she looked at the puppy. Why does that dog look so angry? Bella looked down at the puppy she held. He's not angry, that's just the way his face looks. Seriously, someone actually picked this dog out as a gift for his wife? Emmett asked, realizing his mistake as soon as Bella's body stiffened. How do you know I was getting this for someone's wife? Bella hadn't said anything about Ben's wife, she knew she didn't. Well. It's just, Emmett looked to Alice for help, but his mate seemed to be stuck in a vision that was probably of seeing the best way of handling his mess up. It's just what? Bella demanded. How about we deliver the dog and then we will tell you? Rosalie hoped that would give Alice enough time to go through the different outcomes to decide which one worked out best. Have you guys been spying on me? Bella couldn't think of any other way they could have known. Emmett shook his head frantically. No, Bella, we haven't been spying on you. Pull the car over. I want to get out. Bella didn't want to be in the same car as these people who had an interest in her that probably wasn't good. Bella, please just give us a chance to explain. Look, we are at the address you need to drop the dog off at. Go deliver the dog and then all four of us will talk. Please just give me a chance. Rosalie pleaded. She didn't want to lose her mate before she even had a chance to be with her. Fine, but I'm going to text my dad so he knows exactly who I am with. Bella didn't want to be around these people, but if they knew about her ability to see dead people, she needed to tread carefully around them. Her being locked up depended on it. Thank you, Bella. Rosalie turned on Emmett as soon as Bella left the car. How could you have been so stupid? Emmett held up his hands in defense. He was very scared of Rosalie at that moment. Especially with the way her eyes were black. I'm sorry, it was an accident. I didn't mean to scare her away. Rosalie, don't worry, this will turn out fine. Alice told her, coming out of her vision. What did you see? Rosalie asked. I didn't see exactly how it plays out with the four of us because everyone including Bella keeps changing their mind on how to deal with it. Before Rosalie could interrupt, Alice continued. I did, however, still see Bella hugging Tanya, so we at least know that she will be comfortable around vampires. That's all well and good, Alice, but you don't know if the only vampires she will be comfortable around are just the Denali. She could hate us and refuse to even associate with us. Rosalie's mind was running through worst-case scenarios. Maybe the reason that Bella let Tanya close was because Tanya was her mate as well and Bella chose her over Rosalie. Tanya may be mated to Irina, but it wasn't uncommon to have two mates. When Rosalie felt a slap to the face, she growled at Alice. What the hell? You were having a panic attack. Emmett and I were both trying to get your attention, but you weren't even breathing. You were just sitting there. Alice had been somewhat afraid when Rosalie turned into a statue. Slapping you was the only thing I could think of to snap you out of it. Well, don't do it again. Rosalie wouldn't admit it, but the slap did help. It didn't lessen her worries, it just gave her a chance to put them in order. So what should we do? Emmett asked. I don't know. Maybe take her to our house and explain everything? Rosalie figured that way they control the situation. Alice shook her head. I don't even have to have a vision to know she would never go for that. Should we go back to her house? Emmett said. I don't think she will let us into her house. Alice was almost sure Bella wouldn't want them in her private space. The only reason she even agreed to talk to us is probably because she wants to know what we know about her. Whatever we do, we need to watch her. Alice was right. Bella has a wad of cash hidden in a backpack in the back of her closet. Emmett told them. Shit. This was bad. Rosalie knew if they couldn't convince Bella they were harmless, they would be tracking her mate across the country. No matter what happens, she is going to take off, isn't she? I don't know. We need to come up with a solid plan together so I can focus to find out the outcome. Right now everyone including myself are screwing up my visions with all the convoluted plans we keep coming up with, Alice said. Okay. So we can't take her to our house or ask to go to her house. I don't think we should tell her about us in public even if it would make her more comfortable. Rosalie was sure Bella wouldn't take it well in public. How about we go to her house but stay in her yard? That way she would feel safe because she was home and it would be semi-public so someone could hear her if she screamed. Emmett suggested. Her hear scream? Rosalie growled. Why would she scream? Well, we are going to be telling her we are vampires. It may not go over well, Emmett pointed out. I think that's a good idea. The problem is Bella. Right now I see her wavering between 3 options. 1. Staying at the woman's house and calling her dad to pick her up. 2. Sneaking out the back, going home, grabbing her stuff and leaving, and 3. Giving us a chance to explain. Alice told them. What happens when she gives us a chance to explain? Rosalie asked. Alice shrugged. As soon as she gets into the jeep she forces us to drive her to the police station. Okay, not the perfect situation to be in, but we don't actually have to drive her to the police station. Emmett would just grab Bella and force her to stay in the car. Good idea. If she comes out and demands we take her to the police station, we simply ignore it and take her back to her house. That way, even though we deny her request, she will feel safe. Alice quickly added. Well, as safe as she can feel with essentially being kidnapped. It's settled. Now all we have to do is wait to find out what she decides. Rosalie hoped that Bella would choose to go with them and hear them out without force. The idea of making her mate do something she didn't want to do didn't sit right with Rosalie, but they really had little other choice. Bella would never trust them if she didn't know the truth. Rosalie quickly pushed aside the thought that even knowing the truth Bella might not trust them. It wasn't an option. Rosalie would do whatever needed to be done to get her mate to trust her. The Denali would be there the next day and there was no way Rosalie was going to let her mate be around them without her. The end. Don't forget to drop your reviews in comment section.